Pope Francis was born as Jorge Mario Bergoglio on December 17, 1936 in Flores, a neighborhood of Buenos Aires. He was the eldest of 5 children from Mario, Jose Bergoglio, and Regina Maria Savori. Mario Bergoglio was an Italian immigrant accountant. Regina Savori was a housewife born in Buenos Aires to a family of northern Italian origin. Mario Bergoglio's family left Italy in 1929 to escape the fascist rule of Benito Mussolini. According to Maria Elena Bergoglio, the Pope's only living sibling, the family did not emigrate for economic reasons. His other siblings were Oscar Adrian, Marta Regina, and Alberto Horacio. His niece, Cristina Bergoglio, is a painter based in Madrid, Spain. In the 6th grade, Bergoglio attended Wilfrid Baron de Los Santos Angeles, a school of the Salesians of Don Bosco in Ramos Mejia, Buenos Aires province. He then attended the technical secondary school Escuela Técnica Industrial N-squared 27 Hipólito Yrigoyen and graduated with a chemical technician's diploma. In that capacity, he spent several years working in the food section of Hickathir Bachmann Laboratory, where he worked under Esther Balestrino. Earlier, he had been a bouncer and a janitor. When he was 21 years old, after life-threatening pneumonia and 3 cysts, Bergoglio had part of a lung excised. Elected at 76 years old, Francis was reported to be healthy. His doctors had said the lung tissue removed in his youth did not significantly affect his health. The only concern would be decreased respiratory reserve if he had a respiratory infection. The Pope had suffered from chronic lung damage, due in part to the lung excision he had as a young man. In the 2020s, he was prone to bouts of influenza and bronchitis in the winter. Knee problems and sciatica have prompted him to frequently use a wheelchair, walker, or cane. In 2021, the Pope's health problems prompted rumors that he might resign, which Francis dismissed. In June 2022, after undergoing treatment to his knee, Francis canceled planned trips to the Democratic Republic of the Congo and South Sudan. In an interview with Reuters that month, Francis said that he had not considered resigning, but would do so if his health made it impossible for him to run the church. During his trip to the Democratic Republic of the Congo in February 2023, Francis said that resignation was not in his agenda at the moment. In March 2023, Francis was hospitalized in Rome with a respiratory infection. He returned to celebrate the Easter Vigil Mass on Holy Saturday in April. In June, Francis underwent abdominal surgery after suffering from hernia. Francis had publicly used a wheelchair since 2022 initially, due to persistent knee pain which required an operation. He acknowledged that his recurring mobility problems had precipitated the beginning of what Reuters termed a new, slower phase of his papacy, although he was praised by disabled Catholics for making his disability part of his visible identity. On 14 February 2025, Francis entered Gemelli Hospital in Rome due to bronchitis. His hospital stay was extended due to a polymicrobial infection of his respiratory tract and bilateral pneumonia. Vatican News described his condition as critical and reported that he was given blood transfusions and high-flow oxygen. On February 23rd, it was announced that Francis had early-stage kidney failure, though his condition remained under control. On February 26th, showed slight improvement, but 2 days later Francis suffered a bronchial spasm, causing him to inhale vomit and require non-invasive mechanical ventilation, with the Vatican stating that his prognosis remained guarded. On March 3rd, it was reported that he had been removed from mechanical ventilation and was recovering. The Vatican disclosed that Francis had suffered 2 episodes of acute respiratory insufficiency. After this episode, the 3rd major downer in the Pope's condition, mechanical ventilation was resumed that afternoon. On 19 March, it was reported that Francis was no longer using mechanical ventilation at night, with his doctors stating that his lung infection was under control, although not eliminated. He was discharged from hospital March 23rd, immediately after blessing a crowd from his balcony. He was expected to spend at least 2 months recuperating at his home in Domus Sancti, Marthi in Vatican City, maintaining a reduced work schedule. He appeared in public for the first time since the hospitalization on April 6th. Francis died at the age of 88 on Easter Monday, April 21st, 2025, at 7:35 Central European Summer Time, UTC +2 o'clock, in his residence in Domus Sancti Marthi. His death was announced by Cardinal Kevin Farrell on the Vatican's TV channel and in a video statement. The exact circumstances of his death are yet to be disclosed. However, unofficial Italian sources report that the death was caused by a brain-related issue, likely a stroke. His death triggers a papal interregnum and a 9-day period of mourning known as the Novembiales, Latin for 9 days. The Pope's funeral, by tradition, takes place within 4 to 6 days of the Pope's death. It is expected that he will be buried at the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore according to his wishes. Cardinal electors will be expected to arrive in Rome to attend the General Congregation of Cardinals, which will also result in the decision for the date and time of the upcoming conclave.